But basically, there's this weird possessiveness over like justice, wealth, and like accommodations. Like people will say, like, yeah, they stole your inheritance. Like it's so annoying, right? It's so annoying because it's like, okay, so what am I supposed to do about that, Mrs. They stole your inheritance. What am I supposed to do about that? Okay. What am I supposed to do about this? Yeah. They're like, don't you want justice? And I'm like, you see, the thing is that you're not providing me the justice. That's the thing. You're not providing me the justice. They're not providing justice. I don't know what it is that they think they're providing, but it's not justice. Like, I don't know. It's really irritating. Like, I can't begin to explain to you guys or express to you guys just how annoying it is. It's like, I don't know what they're thinking, but it's not right. I don't know what they're thinking out of a decision I'm making to not know what they're thinking. Okay, that's not like willful ignorance or anything. No, it is called protecting my boundaries. Okay, so yeah, I put up protection around my boundaries because they definitely are. They keep on trying to like attack my boundaries. Not like they mad as hell. They want to attack my boundaries, and now I gotta put like, because like imagine having to protect your own boundaries. Like that's really the phase of life that I'm in. I'm in the phase of my life. I'm 25 years old. I'm protecting my boundaries. Like, I'm protecting my boundaries. They don't like it. They've never had boundaries. They don't know what it's like to protect it. They don't care. I'm like, listen, as many roles that I could play in this reality, in this realm on Earth, like, I definitely do not require you to, attain that role. It's something about like playing a role in reality, da 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 da. It's just a lot for me right now. So we're gonna pull up the Panther Oracle. Yeah, we're gonna pull up the Panther Oracle and we're gonna see what the hell's going on. Because I've been trying to pull this out. I've been trying to do this reading for a minute now, and I didn't really, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh, it's really in there. My cards are all messed up. Oh my gosh, another one. I definitely wanna. I wanna like. I wanna build everything. Like I would have had cabinets for my books, for my cupboards and stuff like that, for my cards. You know what I mean? I would have had like nice pockets for each thing. Like I'm a very organized person. But the thing is that when things are not in order around the section that I'm supposed to organize, like what the fuck is the point? Like, it's like trying to like build a little, I don't know. Maybe that's what it is that building a dynasty only works in the middle of a legacy, doesn't work of like hell or something. Like that's another thing. So it's about I had to like integrate within God's legacy and in order to understand this dynasty. But the thing is that I am coming from God's legacy. Like that's me. I'm coming from that legacy. I'm a legacy. So it's just like, I can't believe you guys weren't prepared for me. That's really what's shocking. Like, do I have to build my own university? Probably. Man, I have to build my own university. I have to build my own car. I have to build my own house. I have to build my own table at this point. Like, what do I have to build on my own? That's my question, right? They're like, oh, you're using things that already pre-existed. I'm like, yeah, but you're telling me that. You're telling me about it. But I'm the one who's building it, aren't I? I'm building it. They're like, well, you weren't there when it was being built. Yes, I was. I was the one who built it. Yes, that's me again. Like once again, like they don't want to accept the fact that like I'm an incarnate. That's one. They straight up like dismiss the thought of even having accepted that to begin with, right? Even though that's like the first meeting. I'm an incarnate. That's like the first thing that's like that comes through. Like I've been here before. You know what I mean? And so it's like when situations arise where it's like, well, I've been here before, right? I'm talking about here in this timeline in this lifetime, right? I've already been here before when it comes to right in like reality. So I'm just going through, you know what I mean? It's no fun going through an experience in life and like knowing everything. Like it's like a what's the point of playing the game if you made it? Well, there is a point there, isn't it? Exactly. So it's like they don't want to accept the fact that the programmer also wants to be a part of the program or is a part of the program. They don't want to accept that. It's like they, with their NPC asses, don't understand that. And it's like, okay, well, maybe it's not for them to understand, right? The reality is that the programmer is also teaching those that have been programmed into the program how to make their own program so that they can also be a programmer to program their own program and then do it ethically, logistically, and like all that and so on. But that's not what these people are trying to do, right? They want to complain, fight, kill, destroy. It's really becoming apparent to me that these individuals really want to sin. Like I'm just now starting to understand this. Like before I was really in the energy of like, like, no, they don't want to sin, no, 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 right? Like I don't know, I wasn't really in that energy. I wasn't really thinking about it that way. You know what I mean? For me, it was like I just gotta protect the humans. That's like prerogative, must protect humans. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's all I cared about. You know what I mean? But then now it's like, okay, well, this has gotten a little bit more complicated than I had hoped. You know what I mean? It's like Detroit Become Human, like a near automata to be realizing that maybe, you know what I mean? Like that maybe she's a little more human than she had realized before with Adam and Eve energy. You know what I mean? It's like that. Like I shit you not. I'm like realizing this. I'm like literally I'm an earth angel. Like duh. So obviously I got my set skills and programs and destinies and desires and stuff like that. And then there are the things that even God is observing about me that I'm observing about myself too. Like we're all observing. I'm like and it's like I can't really explain it. It's like also part of being like human, right? But I most definitely don't want to sin, right? That's not what I want. In fact, it's not what I'm thinking about. It's not what is in my energy. I don't fuck with that. Yeah, exactly. Go in reverse with some luck, okay? So there's definitely, yeah, this is what I'm saying here. The reason why I'm in this dormant energy right now is because like there's some sort of there's an environment that I must be in order for it to be activated appropriately. But right now I'm functioning straight up just from like my fortune, my jackpot energy, just from like my inheritance. Like I'm functioning off of like inheritance. Right? So like for example, all this that I am in obtainance of about, right? All of this that I hath, okay? Dost which I hath, okay? Oh, you see that makes more sense. Dost which I have. So that's six dimensional. So it's in the 6Z energy. So that's why it's like abstract. I'm only feeling it. I'm only feeling it. I've got to like ground what I'm feeling, right? And that's going to give me an objective, right? That's basically it. I've got to ground what I'm feeling and it's going to give me an objective. So that has to do with, see, and that's what I'm saying right there with hold on 1 second. A lot of research, see, it just became like apparent to me only now after I started doing the reading. This may not work. I'm just gonna reset it. Yo, this thing is annoying. Yeah, like excited. I'm saying yeah for like maybe I'm just calling out to God. I'm Yahweh. I'm just calling out to God. That way every time. They're shook by that, by the way. They thought I was saying yes. That's not what I was saying. Also, how are they thinking that's not working? Um, okay, let's see. Healing through endurance, reclaiming work through service, energy ecology, material empathy. Finds resources, builds public mastery. Okay, so let's see what it is. I got one sign there, but research. Oh, if only I could do some research analytics or research analysis. I mean, I was already looking through this. Oh. Okay. You're good. Just don't come like too close over here. So that's like an example, but let's see, let's keep going. Um, sorry, I didn't realize something. They don't want to look into that. Okay, well, next. Well, they're not even gonna get me through the door because I'm not fucking sucking on anyone's cock there. So I'm not doing that. Yeah, and I already tried that and I see what's going on there. Yeah, that one is a bust too. That's only gonna work in my dreams. And then we got this one where I don't even get paid, basically. That's what I'm doing, you guys. This is it. It's fucking it, man. Fuck. So I don't know. I don't really know. So that's pretty much it. I think that we've gotten the runaround on it all. Yeah, schedule, trap. Yeah, if there's a schedule, it's a trap. I get it now. Um, yeah, basically, if I have to organize a schedule for it to function, then it's a trap. So something I do is probably organize a schedule. So this is what I'm saying right here. So stress in reverse, commitment in reverse with robbery in reverse. Yeah, they can't rob me. Something is going on. They can't rob me. That's funny as hell. Um, yeah, gain in reverse, but it's also like a standstill energy. It's like they're not gaining anything from it, so it means that I stand not to gain anything from it as well. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna give that to God. That's a weird condition. If they're not gaining, I have to not gain, especially when it comes to them stealing from me. Didn't we talk about this in another reading? Yeah, I break away those chains. Justice. Yeah, I definitely break away those chains for myself and others. Like that's not fair. Yeah, compromise. No, there's no compromise. There's no agreement. There's no reconciliation. There's no consideration to that. Yeah, they're gonna get confined. That's it. They're confined. Like look at them. They wanted to avoid nightmares when it comes to a family setting because that they can't handle a real family setting because they don't want to accept the fact that they can't uphold being stubborn anymore because that they never had any unconditional love. They never ever thought about, yeah, they never even thought, there wasn't even an inclination to be libel energy, so basically donate, pray, or be religious in any aspect. Yeah, they never got coached in any kind of merit making. They never got trained. They were never groomed. This is also kind of like a lack of accountability in a situation. It's like they never had any, just because they didn't have any formal training within the situation. It's also like they're acting as if that the training that they did receive, because they did receive training. Yeah, that's the thing. Those energies and individuals, what kind of training did they receive for real? Because that's what's making them so spoiled. Is that, like, for example, me, I always acknowledge and I'm always thankful to the Most High God that I received what it is that I received from a young age, because I know that that is also something that not many people could get. I also know that that's something that's specifically aligned with my life purpose and destiny, which is how I know that there are other people who are definitely definitely have that. Like there's no way that they didn't align that with their early age, and that's especially that's because that's under God's control. Them as children is under God's control. So the kind of training that they receive is under God's control. Fuchsia, Fuchsia, she's just trying to get in the way, honestly. Like, like honestly, it's just like she's like trying to get closer and closer to trying to disrupt me. So saving, preservation, collection, and meanness. Yeah, they're trying to act like there's no evidence that they got some sort of like preserve. Yeah, look, they're trying to block it and whatever. No, they're trying to act like they didn't get any kind of training or youth training when it comes to preserving. Is that something I received, Holy Spirit, Heavenly Father? Is that something that I received? That training when it comes to protest in reverse. What is that? Yeah, that's their energy. They want attention so bad, but no. But no. To God. Yeah, exactly. My attention is with God. Yeah, blind in reverse. So it's something that I knew about, but it's not. Is it something that I got? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's like they wanted to take the fact that I never got the training, but then I still knew that it existed so that they could act as if that they never got the training either, some false relatability bullshit. So it's like, for example, what does that have to do with like preserving and like, so like for example, yeah, exactly. I know exactly what they're talking about now. So for me, the closest that I ever got to it is like canning, like when you can products or you can foods, right? So like, yeah, canning. Because yeah, that's as close to it. Yeah, as that's not something that I received exactly, but I still triumphed in that sphere because I cared about it. This is so strange. It's like, okay, the whole process of canning and preservation when it comes to canning is not letting something ferment, right? And brining, right? The process of brining. What'd you call it? Yeah, this is keeping things in its most ripe and authentic state. I've talked about this. This is what I'm talking about. It's keeping stuff in its authentic state, literally, brining and all that. They keep on trying to like put false visions in my sight. That's what they want. That's what that is, false visions. Yeah, see, like they're doing the most. Like they're trying to block familiarity. Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy. They can't siphon it. Like they're so annoying, bro. Oh my gosh. It's like trying to teach a baby the value of $1. Like it would only like exactly, it's not gonna work the way you think it's gonna work, the reality of the situation. Exactly. Gain and reverse. They're not standing to gain anything from it. But that's what they're trying to act as if it's like some sort of loyalty. That's not loyalty. That would be a gain. Like that's not, they're not gaining anything from it. Yeah, exactly. Loneliness in reverse is because they're trying to like, okay, y'all, this is taking me like, it's so like, irritating to me. How do I explain this? Nothing can really hurt me. Okay? Like only God can hurt me. That's the reality of the situation. I've been through it all. Only God can truly hurt me. And the reality of it is that when God hurts, it hurts. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really hurt because God is so merciful. He is the most merciful. He is mighty merciful. And so even the pain that he inflicts isn't necessarily called pain. It's not called pain. It's not called, it's like, you know when these girls, fangirls, be like, oh yeah, step on me. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'd be foolish to think that anything that God would put upon me would be anything other than a blessing in my life, especially knowing that he has chosen me. You know what I mean? And that he has created me to be chosen by him. You know what I mean? It's like I was bred for this. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. And I feel like you guys don't understand the truth about those who have been bred for things like this. And it's that there's nothing that you can do to stop what I've been bred for. You know? Calm. You don't bred me. That's subjective. If you could see from my perspective, yeah? See, curse. So there it is, hate, catastrophe, misfortune. They're deeply in misfortune. Yeah, marionette, exactly. Um, dictatorship, domination, reluctance. Yeah. They're the ones who, so they're the ones with no goals and ambitions. That's why something is dormant for me right now. Because, yeah, they're trying to take interaction. They're attempting to, I don't know, they're trying to control interactions, which is another thing. So that's what I'm trying to say. Engagements, I meant interactions. That's what I meant. Now we found the real word for it. Yeah, they were trying to control interactions, like public interactions, private interactions, live, like any kind of social interaction, like any kind of energy that has to do with interacting with reality. They were trying to control it, like how one interacts with reality. So there are boundaries upon their interactions and their idea of interactions, because interaction in itself is pure. I'm just gonna open a new one because this is gonna be all fucked up. They were trying to control any kind of interaction. Yeah, between, among, to act, to do. Yeah, action. That's why they're so reluctant. Exactly. They're so reluctant. They're stuck in reluctancy. Yep, there it is. Alliance in reverse. See, we're not allies. We're enemies. We are enemies. We are foes. Who are you? What are those? Okay, this is going on. All right. Yeah, trap. You see what I mean? They are the ones who fell for the motherfucking trap. Okay, see? I can't make this up. Yeah. They think that they can't be stopped. But the one who can't be stopped is God. Yeah, they refuse to hesitate in their false idea of prayer, in their cursing, they refuse to hesitate when it comes to their degradation, when it comes to them degrading themselves. They refuse to hesitate to degrade themselves. Yeah, they refuse to hesitate to degrade themselves. That's it. They refuse to, yeah, they refuse to hesitate when it comes to degrading themselves. They degrade themselves every day, every second, every action that they do is to degrade. And they're trying to make people defensive about themselves in their own energy. So it's like, for example, I really want to explain to you guys this, okay? And I'm going to use myself as an example, as a model for this, okay? So my place right now is kind of upside down. It's kind of a mess, right? Like I mentioned, I'm huge in organization, right? Instead of defending myself when it comes to why my place is a mess and how come it's a mess, I'm recognizing that the only one who's insecure about living a fucking mess of a lifestyle is that enemy. You see what I'm saying now? So my thoughts aren't about, you know what I mean, being reluctant to and being hesitant about, right? My thoughts are, get the fuck out of my energy, you enemy. Those are my thoughts. You see what I mean? So yeah, there's triumph in that, because God makes all our enemies our footstools. I mentioned this. See, justice. And that's the justice. They can't control it. There's nothing they can do about it. That's the energy. They can't do anything about that. That's their karma. That's their misfortune. It's unfortunate to them, but the reality is that that's how things are already. That's the reality. That's the scales of balance of reality, right? They are not in control of reality, and they cannot be in control of reality, and they chose not to be, you know what I mean, real with themselves. So at the end of the day, how would reality ever allow them to, you know, persevere when they refuse to persevere for themselves? You see what I'm talking about now? So depression, phobia, and paranoid, that's the energy that they were projecting constantly. That's where they were trying to, yeah, they were trying to give the judge a weapon to use against the innocent. That's what it was. They were constantly attempting to bribe the judge to use whatever weapon it is that they wanted against the their the innocent that they were attempting to attack, right? See sweetheart in reverse. And then they were doing so to what'd you call it? Cause there to be some sort of illusion around social interactions. So it was always like, yeah, exactly. It was always like they were trying to cause there to be loss of rewards, but they got exactly what they asked for. They lost all their rewards. Yeah, but they can't imagine how that's possible. But it's not something that you have to imagine. It's something that's actually happening to them. But they're attempting to force the karma upon the collective, me and others, innocent folk, and so on, in order to, and that's the weapon. You see, that's the weapon in the whole situation. See, we're not even supposed to be talking about them. This is a tarot vlog. You see what I'm talking about now? But they want all the attention. They want the attention. They want to be sued. They want to sue others. They want the attention so bad. They want to be the, want to act as an agent of attentiveness. Like they want to decide what is meant to be attended and what isn't. But that's not, they're not my eyes. You see what I'm saying? They're not my eyes. Manager, supervisor, director, chief, or staff, team lead, administrator, operations coordinator, executive assistant, project manager. So it's a wannabe, yeah, steward, custodian, mediator, vicar, a vicar. So when it comes to vision, they want to be my director or something. That's another thing. They want to be my director or manager or, yeah, there they are. They want to be my director, manager, coordinator, gatekeeper, steward, or whatever the fuck it is. But I am my own director, curator, steward, gatekeeper, coordinator, and manager. I am that for myself. Yeah. My mom said that I should, but I am a rich man, right? That's what I'm saying here. But I am a rich man. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you see what I'm saying? It's like, I don't, it's like somebody wants to be something over me. But they wouldn't have had those problems if they just minded their own business. You see what I'm saying? But then they want to come up against me so that then they can act as if they're above me. And I'm like, you know who's above me? God. So you're not really coming up against me. You're trying to go against God. And everybody knows that you will lose trying to go against God. Like, God is the one who made me the steward. It's not my problem that you can't recognize that. You know what I mean? I even see the Lord Jesus Christ as an equal. Like, I don't see him as anything other than an equal. To me, he is the Son of God. You see what I'm talking about? But they don't want to accept the fact that, yes, indeed, I see him as a vessel of the Most High, as I would see myself. That's what makes us equal. You see what I'm saying now? That's the same thing. It's the same thing for both of us. And that's what they don't want. They're not acknowledging that. They're not acknowledging that. Thank you, Lord. They're not acknowledging that. And that is it. That isn't my problem. They wouldn't have had to acknowledge that the way that they had to, or that they would have to now, if they had only minded their own business. You see, the same thing, like they're trying to force there to be this hyper reliance on their karma. That's what it is. They're trying to force hyper reliance on their karma. I don't know what it is. It's like it's prideful. That's what it is. That's the energy it came out. Pride. It's like someone who's trying to convince themselves and others that they got haters. That's what I'm trying to say. Like as if I'm going against them and that they got all these haters and that people just want to see them go down and like, and the reality is that they wouldn't have had to contest with that if they hadn't manifested that and prophesized that for themselves in their lives, self-prophesized. You see what I'm talking about? Imagine going around in your life and talking about some you got haters. Like, does anybody really know you for who you are, first of all? For anybody to truly hate you for who you are, that takes a lot of wisdom of a person. You see how much it took for us to really throw Satan down, for us to really destroy him, for us to really drop Lucifer? I mean, we got to know him inside and out. We got to know them inside and out. We had to know them for who they were. We even had to love the motherfucker. So for someone to really go around and act like, you know what I mean? And then that's really the pride of the situation because it's the context of their falling. You know, for someone to be your enemy, they really had to have been your friend first. Now let's talk about that. Yeah, merit making in reverse. Yeah, introvert, gift in reverse. Yeah. They never had gratitude for something that, I mean, they never had gratitude for an online community or some sort of privacy. That was what it was. Thank you, Jesus. That's what it was. Remember I was mentioning the preserving privacy. That was, yeah, that's what it is. I was wondering. I'm very thankful. I still don't feel like I don't feel like things are private in my life just yet, but maybe that's something I needed healing in. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It worked, Tarot Vlog. This is why we do this. Okay. But oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so excited because maybe things are really private for me now because I never had privacy. Well, no, I got a stalker and shit. So wait, but still, there maybe things are more private than they used to be, and I'm healing through that aspect of myself. I'm just healing. Okay. I'm that's what it is. Privacy. Oh my gosh. I'm about to I'm about to flip this motherfucking table, y'all. Hold up. Hold on. Let's go. Okay, sorry. Yeah, they can't rob this from me. Oh my gosh. I need something to uphold that though. I mean, this is something I've been planning for quite some time, but I need something to uphold that. So they can't take that from me, but in order for me to do that, I would need to build the environment to do that. So I mean, I could do it. Man, that's fucking insane. But who else would do it but me? That's the pride, right? Okay. So if there's a schedule, don't do it, is basically the energy. Okay, let's see what's going on now. Yeah, there it is. They're trying to, so this is their curse that they're trying to like control. That's their curse. That's what they're trying to control. What is up with that? So they're trying to take advantage of the fact that they're cursed or something. What is up with that, Holy Spirit? What is going on there, bro? Yeah, look at this. Enemy. I can't make this shit up, bro. What the fuck? Someone is trying to control their enemy, is what it's giving. This is a fucking joke, bro. It has to be a jest. It has to be. It can't be real. Like that can't be real. No fucking way. I've never seen this shit happen before. Hold up. So they're trying to control their enemy. Wait, did we do this? Did we do this? Did we do this? They really have no faith or something. Yeah, marriage in reverse, pride. Like, this is crazy. I don't think that energy is actually their enemy. This is some craziness, y'all. This is some craziness. To break it to you, this is what it's giving, right? Let's say person A is very, very, very afraid of person B. So they are trying to project that person B is their enemy, right? Meanwhile, they're projecting that person B might be their enemy. They're also attempting to project that the person that is most scared of person B is person C. They're also trying to project that person C is not only in danger, but is a danger to person A, then, right? So person A is trying to control person B to move towards person C, whom they believe is in danger of person B, whom they believe is their enemy. And that's what they're doing instead of minding their own business. That's what, see, there it is. Perseverance in reverse, collaboration in reverse, and then justice. Yeah, exactly. They've been judged, and now it's coming out that they're a fucking mess. Yeah, exactly. They're a fucking mess. Didn't I tell you guys? They're a fucking mess, bro. Yeah, see, marriage in reverse. And then they're trying to get into somebody's pride. Like, you know what? I'm not going to do all this today. I'm not doing all this today. But really, it's a false engagement of motivation. They're trying to false motivate, false inspire someone to act as if some people are inspired by them or something so that they can try and, like, yeah, they're trying to act like something is inspired by them to make it seem as if the results belong to them. Like they're trying to falsify mentorship is what it's giving. Yeah, right. You see, they're trying to falsify mentorship. It's really pissing me off, is what it is. It's really pissing me off, is what it is. Yeah. There's the prompt. See, readiness, preparation, arrangement, prompt. Yeah, prompt. Remember I was saying preparation, arrangement. So the problem isn't the scheduling, is what I'm getting from the divine, I'm getting from the Lord specifically. The problem isn't the arrangement. It's that there's no foundation to prepare for it. which means that there's no actual, like, that was the wrong environment. Like I said, that was the wrong environment for that, what'd you call it, schedule. The schedule was great, actually, was what I'm getting. Yeah, exactly. Strategy was ace, but um, it's like oh my gosh, wait, this is like my economics exam. It's like oh my gosh, this is like, oh my gosh, this is exactly like my economics exam. This is exactly, I feel like I've literally answered this question. This is probably why I know this. It's like it's like getting the answer right, but missing something about the question. The question, something about the question wasn't understood fully. You see what I'm saying? The question wasn't understood fully, but the answer is correct to a certain degree. That's what it's giving. The answer is correct to a certain degree, but the question wasn't fully formed. So, okay, this is also something I watched recently where it's like both the question and the answer would have had to be wrong, but the answer was correct. But due to pride, the person who had set the question had also attempted to make it seem as if the answer was also wrong due to some, there's deeper things involved, but it's like at the same time it was not just pride that was there, it was something else that was there. It's something that they believe is a curse, but it's not, with marionette energy, dictatorship, domination, reluctance energy. Yeah, it's a compassion. They think compassion is the curse. I'm so done, bro. Like that's what it is, because compassion got activated like 4 times the other day. So it was like deep compassion. And deep compassion has to do with responsibilities. Responsibility and reliability together would be like, what is that called again? It's like management, it's like stewardship, but it's something that allows for that. It's something that includes that, right? That the role acknowledges. It's like sincerity, preservation. I could almost say it's like a market or marketing. Is it marketing after all? Yes. Holy shit. Marketing. Now I'm understanding what the fuck marketing is. You know what I mean? I didn't really get it for the longest time. They were trying to block marketing. That's what it is. Oh my gosh. I'm really like shook right now. Like all the sides of me are getting it. Like, yeah, marketing. Yep. What is this about? Yeah, because then there was so much negative energy around marketing. Exactly, sweetheart. Exactly. Unconditional love, pure, beloved. Yeah, because marketing is something that I actually really care about. Marketing, marketing is really important. It is really important. And a lot of people when they hear marketing, they focus on the target market, or they focus on the profit margin of the target market, or they connect, like, you know what I mean? But really it's about community. Marketing is more about community specifically. You see what I mean? Not the target community. You know what I'm talking about? Let's see. Marketing etymology. Let's see what this is. So trade commerce, marketplace trade, no. A place where no. I, marketing, the act or process of trading, buying, and selling. That's not what I was asking them. That's not what I was looking at. It's not about commerce then. It's not about advertising. You see what I'm saying now? It's a really strange, this is like it's definitely not consumerism. Marketing is like, what is it called again? It's like more so like public relations. That was like the hidden code within it is public relations. But it's not only about that. You see why it's like why I thought marketing, but it's more so about like how do I explain this? Compassion. You see what I mean? Public public relations, compassion, public relations. Is it just economy? Have I been saying it this whole time? Is it just economy? Yes, it is economics, isn't it? Yes, economics. I've done this before. It's like they're not thinking in terms of economics. They're not seeing the economic. They're not yeah, because community, GDP, because it also has to do with happiness index. You see what I mean? Like happiness index is super important in economics. It literally defines the economic stability or the market stability. It defines the market stability. If people are, the majority of the people are unhappy, they're going to flock to a very specific kind of market. And the market has to do, like, for example, if it depends on also the amount of healing that group of individuals might have, right? So it's like all these different types of people. PR also, you see PR, public relations. That's what I'm saying. PR, human relations and influence sphere, it's all economics. It's all economics. That's it. It's economics. You know, I never ever thought about getting a job in economics. I never thought about that. Like, let me see. Even though that's like my main, that's literally my major. Like, what the fuck? Why am I an economist? I don't know why I haven't been in the. Oh my gosh, bro, this shit is blowing my mind. The government. I should just go work in the government for an economist. How do I? I didn't even know that. I didn't even know you could. Yeah, that's why. Like, I didn't even know you could go. I didn't think that you could. I thought that it was like a, well, not you, sir. Not you, sir. I didn't think that my ego could handle it. Is that better? Okay. As long as I say it right, dude. Okay, let's get it. No wonder. What is it called again? Yeah, cited, also defeated. What is it called again? me see. Because I'm not looking for that specifically. Okay, that's what we gotta do. We gotta do it then. We're not doing that again. Okay, we're gonna do this one. Oh, I can actually do that. Okay, I can do that. No problem. Yeah, that's the problem right there. Okay, here, I'll have to do it this way. Yeah, cited. Okay, so we're getting closer. We're getting closer. So that's what they were trying to act like as if that they couldn't do. By the way, I know exactly who that is now. They were trying to act like they couldn't do that shit. Like, I already knew that was bullshit from the get-go. Like, the type of bullshit that they were trying to act like wasn't possible for them. Like, it's a perfectly paying job. Like, they could have been fine. They really gave up their whole fucking inheritance for this shit, bruh. Yeah. Like, literally. Literally. On my face. Right? Um... Hey, we were looking at jobs together, you guys. Okay. Well, this one starts way too late. Okay, we'll go there. But these are all super late. bookmark this one. These are all super late. They're super late, super late. Okay. I'm so hungry, you guys. You guys, I'm so hungry. No, not this, not that. Okay. No, we're not doing that. Документа оперативности, document operations, wouldn't that be the same thing as like what do you call it? Investigative forensic analysis. I think I did that. I did that in college, but I did it for only like a year. They're not gonna look at me for sure. They're not gonna look at me. Oh my gosh, bro. These are all like insider jobs, by the way. These are like insider jobs. These are jobs that you don't get through applying online. Like they're really irritating. Okay, I figured it out. Okay, so these are all jobs that they're definitely not applying like through online applications. These are all insider jobs. Like I don't know how to explain to you guys that all these jobs are like they want to feel. Isn't 4.0 the highest you can get? Well, luckily for you. Oh, shit, I actually have this stuff. Um, School issued email address on your application. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. They're all insider jobs, which makes sense. Oh, this is why I wanted to finish. This is literally why I wanted to finish my. So irritating, bro. So, well, that's all cut off, right? So I'm gonna like not do that, I guess. So now we're just gonna keep going, which is why there's no goal energy. It's just there's no goal. There was no goal. With what they did to me, there was no goal. Masks. Yeah, there was just no goal. There was no goal what they did to me, what they've done to me. They didn't plan it out, they didn't think through it. Yeah, loneliness in reverse. They didn't like a lot of it now, there's evidence of it now. Like it was like because okay, I'm gonna tell you guys a little personal story, okay? Because the person who did what they did to me, right, try to sell me at peak when I was supposed to be able to get into a position like this, right? They were angry. Let me tell you why they were really angry. Because they could have had a position like a pharmaceutical position where they would have been getting paid high amounts, like a high income bracket. They would have been able to get paid just fine if they hadn't tried to sell me for the first like for the last actually 20 years of my life. If they hadn't been trying to sell me, they would have been able to reach a high income bracket. And they knew that. They knew that because that is a foundation that their parents gave. And when people come about and they're like, well, we can't control what our parents' decisions are, and that's the thing, is like, you know what I mean? Like, like forgive them. They were only raping you and trying to, you know what I mean? Like, they were only trying to rape you and give you STDs and sell you off to some human trafficker for half the salary that they would have gotten if they just worked properly for 2 years. You know what I mean? No, don't forgive them for that, collective. Okay? I mean, if you can, do for sure, but definitely don't say it to their face or anything like that. I don't know how to explain it to you. Definitely forgive them, but forgive them for God. Forgive them for yourself. Okay? Forgive them if you can, but you're not obligated to. That's one thing. That's one thing's for sure. And two things for certain. That's another thing. The eternal love comes from God, and that's why it's private. That's what it is. It's like you're not obligated to forgive things and actions that are unforgivable. And if you do forgive them, then just know that it is mercy being upon you through God's immeasurable merciness. You see what I mean? If you ever forgive someone that has done something that is quite literally unforgivable, understand that it is a show of God's mercy. If you could forgive them, then sometimes that means that God isn't. You know what I mean? Sometimes, like, that's another thing too. It's like that's the kind of relationship God has with humans. It's like, yes, I forgive them, but God won't. You know what I mean? God won't forgive them. And maybe that's why I had to forgive them, not because I'm the one with the mercy. No, because God gave me, you see, God almost relinquished to me his immeasurable mercy so that then he's not around it when he fucks them up. You see what I'm talking about? So there's a certain kind of like relationship dynamic that only God can have. And it doesn't mean that he's not gonna, like, as if he's not gonna get his mercy back or that. No, obviously it's his mercy. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, there's evidence that they were never committed to themselves or something. It was something like that. Like, even exactly, it's like, forgive yourself. That's what I'm trying to say here. Forgive yourself is what it is. Don't forgive them if you can't. Don't force yourself to forgive them if you can't. Sometimes what they do is completely, because I am an earth angel, you guys. So what'd you call it? What they do is completely unforgivable. And you gotta forgive yourself. Because knowing who you truly are and your true self is so important. Yeah, because I wasn't trying to say too much because I told you about the ego situation, Holy Spirit, Heavenly Father. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say now. So now it's clear the ego died and everything like that. Because, like, that's what I'm saying is, like, yeah, there's definitely that, what'd you call it? You got to forgive yourself. You got to forgive yourself for believing what you believe, thinking what you believe, like thinking about them, like the way that you thought about them. What they've done is completely, you know what I mean? That's what I'm getting to. That's my ancestors coming through as well. Goal. Yeah, they didn't have any goals. There wasn't a goal when it came to what they were doing. It wasn't aligned with faith. They were truly an enemy, and they were afraid. They were afraid of why. They were afraid. They were afraid of God, but they refused to accept it. It's something about they were afraid of themselves. It's like someone who like says like, oh, that's where the cringy motherfucking Edgelord Simulator 3000 was coming from. It's like they were trying to be like they were afraid of what they were capable of, but they weren't even in it. Like this, like they were trying to act like they were so afraid of what they were capable of, but what were they capable of? They weren't even capable of this. Like, you know what I mean? Good news in reverse. They're definitely bad news with a whole bunch of conflict. They're definitely a whole bunch of bad news. It's like they're like very inappropriate. Like, yeah, like look, aid in reverse, daydream in reverse, accident in reverse. See what I'm saying now? It's like they set conditions. This is what I'm saying. It's like, okay, so they're I know exactly what the condition is for them. It's like anytime something good happens, something bad has to happen, right? That's their condition. We're deconditioning ourselves from that reality. That's the reality. And the reality that we experience isn't one where that there must be bad luck for every good luck. That's not how it works. Dharmic experiences don't require for there to be karmic experiences. That's the truth. I'm telling you the truth. Karmic experiences only occur when one's lessons hadn't been learned. Karma is something that is also passed down generations, so it had only occurred from the first sin. You know what I mean? As soon as you overcome that whole sinful repertoire, whatever the hell, right? You live a dharmic experience for all eternity, and further along when you come to earth again, and then going back to eternity. You see what I'm talking about now? In mortality and eternity, you are allowed to live a dharmic experience as soon as you step into that realm. That is your existence, collective, in this timeline within the golden age. They can't they can't falsify away from dharmic experiences. That's not how it works. Yeah, they can't rob you or me or anyone in the collective from this energy. They can't make it seem as if that they hadn't robbed themselves, by the way, from an imagination and relaxation, from rest and rejuvenation, from fantasy, from true pure fantasy. Because what they were their dark fantasy, what they were trying to cause, this is me I'm this is I feel like this is making God very angry, that they won't leave me alone. Like, they really won't leave me alone. Like, yeah, I feel like it's really dawning on the ancestors as well. That's what it is. It's dawning on the ancestors what's been really done to me in a situation, and why it is that I felt the way that I did and the way that I feel now. Yeah, gift in reverse. See, that's why. See what I'm saying? It's like I can feel the blessing. It's six dimensionally existent. It's there. But there's just like the unconditional love, the thing that allows it to perform in the 5D, because it's six dimensional, so it's being projected downwards. It's been like stuck in the sixth dimension for a very long time. Even as I'm looking at it, it's like having a STEM degree upon graduation, which I got a STEM degree. Right? They say when you do STEM classes, right, that you get you become, like, you know what I mean, really, really important, whatever, right? And that you get everything, and that was like the huge promise. And I went into a coma for this. And then I got trafficked. And even trying to get H1 H1B visa or an E3 visa or a TN visa or anything like that. It's like, of course I didn't learn how to fucking be surviving in the streets with some hoodlums or whatever. I was too busy studying accounting because they said, because it's not that they said it is, it's working, it works, but it's just, I got trafficked. it's something I had to accept. I had to accept that. I had to actually dive into healing this trauma for myself. Like I'm just looking at all the things that I could have had. And I'm not allowed to feel any ways about it. I'm just not allowed to feel any ways about it. I can't even feel like it's lost because it's not, right? It's not lost. I could go for it, but they won't look at me. They just won't look at me. Even if I did my very best, even if I tried everything, they won't look at me. It became a point where I thought I was ugly for real. Like I had to I broke down. Like I broke down so badly, asking God like if I was truly that ugly, like if I was really ugly. Because the reality was that like I wouldn't be able to tell, like I wouldn't be able to know because and this is why like this is how I broke down about what a year ago, a year and a half ago. Yeah, I broke down like literally a year and a half, almost literally almost 2 years ago. I broke down because of this very reason. Even without seeing it, I already knew. I had a whole thing about it. That's why I left the energy there. I just left it all there. It's like I fast forwarded because I wasn't gonna wait another fucking 4 or 5 years, another 10 years to figure it out. So I moved forward, I fast forward, I moved forward. I took the whole thing and I took the whole time and I moved to today. And I'm just looking at it now and I'm just like, this is what it was. Successful applicants typically have a GPA of 3.7 or higher. I have a 3.8, 3.9 GPA. Isn't it our higher based on the 4.0 scale? Yeah, exactly. 3.8. The lowest I ever got was what, 3.5? It was a fucking nightmare. But even then it wasn't even my average for that lesson. It was, and I have proof of it. Like I have proof of it. You see what I'm saying? Reservation in reverse, desire, worth, extravagance. You see what I mean? It was in reverse. And then there's me blessing family, my energy, and then there was them, pride. You see what I mean? I was my parents' pride and joy. I was everything my parents asked for. I gave them everything, man. And then this is how they thank me. And I'm supposed to be the one like taking care of them. Like they've forsaken me. At least she did. You know what I mean? The female one, she did. They're trying to take even the little access that I get to my own because it's so little because they keep attacking me. So I gotta protect it. so much, and that's what it is that they're trying to siphon off of the protection, the to make it seem possessive. They're trying to cause it to seem possessive. Like, how do you say possessive? Like, possessive principle, possessive participle. Yeah, possessive participle. They're trying to use a possessive participle on it. What is that? Did you get the fucking class that I got 3.5 in? Yeah. You see? Excited. The possessive participle distinguishes the actor from the action and makes the sentence more precise or formal. The difference between I didn't like him singing so loud versus I didn't like his singing. Yeah, exactly. They didn't care about stuff like that, right? It's stuff like that that make like sentences important, that make it like, you know what I mean, clarifies specifically. Like that's how I know when people would be talking to me or individuals here they're talking to me and they don't realize that they're using a specific word verbiage and usages of those verbiage were giving their notions away. You could tell who's saying what's saying who, what's a lie, what's not a lie. You could literally tell from their verbiage, from their usage. But they weren't trying to like act, they were acting like the laws didn't apply to them as if the rules didn't apply to them. The easiest way to format it is to put a comma there, right? So, or like if you want to put like for example, that's a little trick, right? Not a little trick, but it's a tell sign. Yeah, so I didn't like him singing so loud, right? I didn't like him singing so loud, right? I didn't like him, comma, singing so loud. It also shows you that if you really don't like someone, you don't like them for sure. And then if you really want to use a what you call it, could imply dislike of him in general. You see what I mean? I didn't like his singing so loud. So if you put I didn't like apostrophe, right? His singing so loud clearly means his act of singing. So when you say his, it confirms singing. If you put him, then it obviously is him. So that's where I was like, you want me, you want me. Like that's why I would say like you want me. Like that's what it is. If they had said if they desired mine, you know what I mean? If they had been like if they had said like that they wanted what, you know what I mean? If they wanted, you know what I mean, whatever it was, then it would have made sense, but they wanted me. You see what I'm talking about? And it's like they don't understand, like I said, these individuals who think that their words don't matter because they don't love themselves, and then they manifest things because the universe doesn't care whether or not you really love yourself or not, to give you guidance, because the important thing is about what you call it, loving God. Loving yourself allows you, which is loving Jesus technically. It means understanding God. You see what I mean? And not everyone has to understand God. That's not a goal or whatever the fuck. The whole goal for most human beings is to love God unconditionally. Once you love God unconditionally, do whatever you will with that information, right? Because it's unconditional love that you're going to be doing that with that information, what you will. And the will comes from God directly. That's why you can't control anyone past unconditional. You can't do that. Once someone passes the threshold of, I mean, that's what I was talking about too, to God. I was saying this to the Lord and all of those that would hear. It was that, what you call it?
And there are readers that I don't watch, and I don't watch them not because I think that they haven't, you know what I mean, da 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 da. They're because I know that they're in unconditional love. They're graced with so much potential in unconditional love. They are doing their jobs, and how it is aligned with them is the same thing. Is the same thing as this situation right here. It's like trying to take away from me everything that makes my opportunity work, everything that makes me active, everything that aligns with who I am, but only for me, only targeting me in it. So it's like every sphere, every dimension, everything that I could ever do, it's like constantly being like blocked off for me. And that's like they've been cited. And that's like exactly. And it really started with prayer. Yeah. It really started off there. Because when I was 8, I'm a very devoted, you could say nun, right? I was a very devoted nun kind of energy. And then and then I was kidnapped and raped. Sorry, y'all. I had a child and everything. And I had a miscarriage. Like and then now I got here and I thought I could finally settle down when it comes to being a chef, like I could be a cook. It's finally, you know what I mean? On alignment, and then I got bullied so bad. So bitter. Just trying to make everyone, it's just the same cycle. And I just backed away. I couldn't do it anymore. The same cycle, man. Like, and covertly, where it's like it all makes me look crazy so bad. I don't know what to do anymore, y'all. Preservation isn't something that I can like really understand, right? Desire, worth, extravagance. It's something that I got caught away from really early. Desiring, like wanting. You know what I mean? Every time I feel the energy of like, you know what I mean? I like it's either there or it's not. Like I don't. That's why when there's like, what do you want from me? What do you want? And it's like I wouldn't be where I would have to want something. That's the thing. I wouldn't be where I would have to want something. But then for there to be worth and extravagance in that same energy, it's like throwing me off a little bit because I don't understand how desire and worth and extravagance all have to do with reservation. Like I don't understand. Oh my gosh, y'all. It's the fucking cat hair. Just in case it's the cat hair. It's fucking everywhere, man. Let's look up reservation. Fuck it. I don't know what that is. Thank you, God. So save, retain, to keep, preserve. That's what I'm saying. The act of keeping something back for future use or control. So the act of keeping something back for future use or control. It's like, for example, I'm not eating, right? Because I would have to spend cash. And the cash that I got is for future use. So I'm reserving it. Is that the energy of desire or worth or extravagance? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. Let's keep something else. Let's do something else. I'm am I reserving my cards? I'm using them. This is the future use. I'm using them. I'm using everything. That's the thing. I'm using everything. Everything at my disposal. That's what it is. Everything is already at my disposal. I don't have to desire it. That's what's coming through as. Everything that I might ever need, everything that I might ever want is at my disposal. Yeah, am I saying that correctly? Yeah, exactly. Or is in my disposition, active placing or arranging a part is at my, I don't know if disposal is the right word, you know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, exactly. Does it always have to be about removal or management? Management, right? It's in my management. Exactly. They want to control my they want to control my management, or they want to control my disposal. Exactly, exactly. At my disposal, not for disposal. Exactly. So it's so everything that I might need and everything that I might want is at my disposal. They're the ones trying to control that. So that's reservation. It is what is at my disposal. They want to control what is at my disposal. Exactly. You see what I'm talking about now? They want to control what is at my disposal. And now Family Alliance is coming through. Yeah. Sweet dreams, coach. Yep, there she is. She's literally she's sleeping right. My I can't make this up, you guys. You see, Family Alliance, she wants to control my cat. I don't know what it is. They want to control my cat. This is really bothering me, man. My cat is asleep, okay? I don't know what it is. They're trying to coach her. What is that about? What's going on? She's being coached by the ancestors, first of all, and by chosen ones of God, okay? Spirit guides, okay? So, memory, origin in reverse, blessing, memory and origin in reverse, idea at my disposal. There's something I'm not remembering. What was at my disposal in the past? Oh my gosh. Cited, whatever that is. Okay, so they're trying to act like I don't remember what was at my disposal in the past. That's their fucking manipulation tactic. Yeah, manipulation tactic. Like all the time. Like that's always what it was. It was like my parent would be like, I gave you a credit card for a reason. She would never allow me to use it. Like she would never let me use it. Like I never got to use it. And then the ones that I did get to use, she would literally cause me financial instability so I wouldn't have to pay up. Like that was a huge thing. Like that's what I'm trying to say here. It's like a lot of that. Everything that I'm see, that's what I was trying to tell you guys. See, I tell you from personal experience. It's like they try to input something to make it seem as if they're the ones that are providing something. Excuse me, y'all. They're trying to provide something that is trying to basically make it seem as if that it is in your disposal, as if that they provided it, but it's only stuff that God provides you that is at your disposal. And only if you really take ownership over it. That's the reality. Exactly. So it's like the things that are at my disposal, it's like I'm expanding what's at my disposal. That's what it is. Yeah, exactly. I'm expanding what is at my disposal and they don't like that. It's not my business. Yeah, coaching, knowledge, advice, obedience. Yeah. promise in reverse. What is that about? Yeah, it's like they're this is remember when I had told you guys that they were trying to make people like rely on their karma? It's like they're trying to act like they're so necessary and their karma has to be cleared in order for them to provide into us something that is already at our disposal. That's the problem. It's like we don't need them. Like that's what I keep trying to say. Like we don't need them. We don't need their promise. We don't need them. Like they're so fucking weird. It's also the thing is like when I was being trafficked here, they were trying to like incentivize me, like to make me believe that I was actually going to get like, it's like I don't know how to explain this to you, but let me make it clear. It's like someone putting a gun to my head and then being like, yeah, but if you do the thing, you'll get a lollipop. Don't you want the lollipop? Like, bro, yes, sure, I want the lollipop. Give me the lollipop. You know what I mean? That's the energy. It's like they have a gun to my head type of shit. But if I'm like, no, fuck your lollipop, they're like, I'm gonna pull the trigger. I'm gonna pull the trigger. Like that. Like it's crazy. Excuse me, Fuchsia. But that's basically what it is. It's kind of fucking insane. Like at that point, it's like, okay, geez, like I'm just gonna fucking like that's the thing. I'm like, pull the trigger. Fucking crazy, y'all. I'm like, do it. This is the reality, but not everybody can handle that energy. You know what I mean? Yeah, because there's no goal. You see what I mean? There's no goal. There's no promise. There's nothing there. Like everything that I might need, everything that I want, everything that belongs to me is at my disposal. Everything that gets me to where I have to go, everything that puts me in a safe place, everything that allows me to align with my destiny is where I need it to be. Exactly. There's the accident for them. Danger. They are the danger. That's the danger they were projecting at me in the collective, which you could guess is the person C. You could almost see it, right? And there it is, their daydream, their energy of attempting to make an illusion, right? Of them, what'd you call it? Of person B, whoever that is, being the one that is the danger when it's them, the person A who did that. You know what I mean? Just the whole situation. You see, that's why it was third party situation coming out. You see what I mean now? Because that was what it was. Eternal love, okay. You see what I mean? Stabilities here. Okay, so that's Ashe, right? I said Ashe, just in case. Amen. May everything that I might need and everything that I may want be at my disposal. Amen. There it is. Self-love. Yeah, protest in reverse. They can't protest anymore. May everything that I might need and everything that I might want be at my disposal. Amen. So death in reverse, collaboration in reverse. What is that about? Death in reverse, collaboration in reverse. So now it's about that collaboration in reverse. So they were projecting unbacked up wealth or something, wealth that wasn't backed up. That's why they were so confused. People were so confused because they were acting like some sort of wealth didn't have some sort of backup or that wasn't backed up. So fucking weird. It's like they were projecting so much of their own suspicion. Like let's say there's a person D now. Person D sees that person A is doing so much but getting nothing out of all this bullshit. So they're trying to look into why, right? And they're finding out that person A actually, yeah, exactly. There it goes, and flipped in reverse. Actually can't back up whatever false wealth it is that they were attempting to claim for themselves. Exactly, because the wealth never belonged to them, and they were trying to be stubborn about it, because this is upright energy, I can feel it. But they were trying to be defensive about that, and that was making it difficult for person D to now see any gain within the situation. So that's another thing. It was like they were blocking so many people from seeing what's to be gained in a situation, what the gain really is, right? The situation isn't about gaining. It's about loss for them. Like you can't compete where you can't compare. They're losing, whereas person B, person C, person D is gaining, right? That's the difference. So the problem was that because of their stubbornness to admit a loss, they're attempting to project, yeah, exactly, project um unfactual gain. Yeah, exactly. They're being cited now. Being fully cited. At, yeah, they were trying to project unfactual gain at, what would you call it, those who are now ready. Exactly. Now the readiness is here. It's still cited. It's still cited. Yeah. So they were losing in a situation, but they were attempting to act as if it were some sort of gain. Yeah, there it is. They were trying to act like it was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to explain it. There it is with their fucking distractions and their, may no distraction ever come forth again. Amen. They were trying to act like, yeah, they were trying to act like that they, as if that they had, what is that, solemn, that some sort of solemn oath had been avowed to them. That's what it is. They were trying to act like some sort of solemn oath was avowed to them, as if that, that's the thing, they probably did have that reservation. Yeah, in the past they probably, okay, so that's what I'm saying, is like they're not used to not having something at their disposal, but it wasn't worth, they it wasn't for them to have at their disposal to begin with it, because it was never at their disposal. It was at somebody else's disposal and they were trying to take it for themselves. That's the reality of the situation. You know, in Nigeria, when you grow up in Nigeria, live and learn. Yeah, let me give you guys a quick life lesson. They say that's not your money, that's your parents' money. That's not your car, that's your parents' car. Anything your parents give you, that's not yours, that's your parents. So regardless whether or not you think you own it. You can think you own it to the heavens and back. You can think you own it to hell and back. It doesn't matter. In Nigeria, that's not yours, that's your parents. Yeah. You might think some sort of inheritance lesson, understanding something you really think you deeply own because I be your parents give it to you. That's what these people don't understand. They got the sense of privacy, right? They got that privacy, right? They got to feel as if something really belongs to them, right? Whereas we don't feel that way at all. Where I come from, we don't feel that way at all. Anything that is presented to me that I haven't gotten by myself, it doesn't belong to me. It's not at my disposal. It only belongs to me at my disposal once that I have already attained it for myself. You see what I mean? Once I have presented it to the Most High as in my own positioning, then it can be my own. But really, it's God's for any sakes. As an earth angel, as a child of God, it's still not mine, right? In my essence, it belongs to God, which allows me to provide my humility to Him truly and authentically. So they were trying to act as if that they were being coached with, yeah, it's like they were given some sort of keys and like something at their, yeah, they were like, that's what it is. I don't know how to explain it to you guys. It's like a fucking narcissist with really, really good parents. Like that's all I can explain to you guys. It's like their parents, like my ex narcissist, right? The ex, you see, parent figure, she had really good parents. My grandmother, my grandfather were really good. My grandfather isn't the same anymore. But my grandmother and my grandfather, when they were together, were the kindest, sweetest parents, right? They raised the most glamorous, most authentic elite family. Like we really survived a lot of shit, right? This was our time to establish our presence, to make ourselves known, right? To finally, like, I've got uncles and aunties owning buildings. You know what I mean? I've got uncles and aunties, what'd you call it, that are in Harvard. You know what I mean? That pass that, they own buildings. Like I've got multi-millionaire people, friends and not friends, family members. But like I said, if I don't do it by myself, then you know what I mean? The problem arise when it was actually my parent. So a lot of people try to act like she's the black sheep of the family. She's just a little different. But the reality of the situation, no. I'm literally black. You know what I mean? I'm literally the one who's different in the family. I'm the one who just looks a little different. But She is entirely a different kind of individual. And as no matter how much I tried to be there for her, no matter how much everyone was trying to be there for her, she was involved in her own brother's murder. She was involved in my trafficking. She was involved in attempting to enslave my father. She was involved in trying to like defame like the government's character. She was there when she committed fraud on her own company that she worked in. She was there when she tried to use the resources, you know what I mean, that the embassy provided to her and all that shit to commit all egregious crimes all around the world. Like it was never like, oh, she just didn't give you a fucking piece of candy or some shit like that. Yeah, my father also didn't give me a piece of candy. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that he committed some sort of egregious crime against me. You know what I mean? That was literally for my own benefit. I found out how I was on candy. You know what I mean? And that you see what I'm saying? And so there's a lot of like truth about like it's like understanding like like I said, you got to really love the motherfucker because the reality of the situation is that there was no way to actually defeat that energy without some sort of, I guess this is where I don't really believe in sacrifice at all. At all, I don't believe in sacrifice. But thou shalt not sacrifice. And I remember that. It was like without some, okay, lion, a little lion. She looked like a little lion there for a second. They got scared. Scared her. Without some, what is it called again? There's no way to defeat that kind of energy without, what is it called again? I'm trying to remember. It's not sacrifice. Is it risk? Is it just risk? Yeah, I think that's what it is. Without some risk of sacrifice. That's what it is. I think that's what it is. And that's what they want to take. I think that's what it is that belongs to Jesus, actually. Isn't it crucif cruc crucifixion? Crucible without a crucible. Isn't that what it is? No. Yeah, there it is. Without some sort of torment, extreme suffering. Yeah, without a crucible or crucifixion. Is it that's what it is? No, there's truly no way to defeat that kind of energy or that enemy without the crucible. It is crucible because I don't know why it's trying to act like it's about crucifixion when it's not. Yeah, it's about the crucible. I'm specifically, give me a second. Without the cross, exactly. There's no way to defeat that energy without a crux. That's what I'm looking at. Yep, that's what I'm looking at. A crux. That's what I'm looking at. Yep, there's no way to defeat that energy without a crux. Yep, they've been cited. The crux of an issue is the point where everything hangs in tension. Exactly. Exactly. That's what it is. It's the crux. Goal, accident in reverse. Goal in reverse, accident, danger. Yeah, there it is. Remember? They were projecting that danger, the no goal energy, danger energy. But that's like the mission. You know, like a quest marker, like a target, like like what the angels have been trying to teach me is like a like using like a like yeah, anyways, it's like a what'd you call it? Quest marker. Like in a video game, you're walking down a trail and then you see someone with a quest marker on there, right? It's like that. That's what the energy looks like. It feels like that. Obviously, it looks like torment, pain, suffering, and so on and so forth. But as an earth angel, that's like a mission. Like, you know what I mean? They were projecting that energy as well. You see what I'm saying? Because God is the one that assigns it. Something like that. They were trying to make themselves about they were trying to that's the vision that they were trying to distort. What the fuck? That's fucked up. That's straight up fucked up. Straight up fucked up. They were trying to make it seem as if that I only existed here on this realm in this time in this period in this age and time and space and da 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 because of them. That's the problem. Like as if that God would assign me to be to missioned and administered by them type shit. Yeah, no, that's fucked up. See, my memory, I remember. Yeah, but that's not the truth within the situation. Yeah, that's how they were. Wow, that's really fucked up. You see, that's what I'm trying to say. The situation is really fucking crazy. Out of the entire planet, the only light that was seen was theirs, is what they were trying to say. The reality of the situation is that I've seen a completely different light, and they kept on trying to act like it was them. But they had to feed in to knowing this about me. They had to know what it was like for me to exist here, what it was like for me to be born here, what it was like for me to see it, the vision that I would have had, and how it was. Like they had to know everything. You see what I mean? But just as much as they would think that they would know everything is just as much as I would know everything about them. And that's the trap they fell for. Exactly. Because that's the backfire about trying to, get in someone's privacy. If you try to hack into somebody's network, now your IP address is traceable, even if you think it's not. There's a digital footprint for everything. And that's what I'm trying to say here. And that's why it was always about how well you cover it up, which is what they were projecting as well. It was too much. Exactly. Friendship in reverse. Calm in reverse. Fury. There, exactly. They're like angry. I'm preserving. I'm managing my preservations or something like that. Like that I that everything that is at my disposal, I oh my gosh, hold on. Not me crucifying everything that is at my disposal. to fasten to a cross. Exactly. So because I crucify everything. A tree or pole with a cross or beam. A wooden beam forming two intersecting lines. Yeah. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Yeah. Oh my goodness. No wonder. That actually makes a lot of sense now. Wait a second. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. See, now they don't want me to remember. What is it called again? Yeah. We have this one. No, there's another. There it is. Hiya. Sorry, there's a lot going on. I'm like researching a mad hard. um, there's Elgis here, and then there's yeah, blessings. I'm right on the money on this one, you guys. Pride is falling like real bad. So there's rune of protection and sanctity. Sanctity is exactly what it is that I was looking for. Thank you for the like. Sanctity was exactly what it is that I'm getting through with. I'm like bringing forth sanctity. Amen. Yeah. What is it? Oh, what is it? Mm-hmm. You okay? Oh, you're such a baby. What's going on? You're such a baby. What's going on? You mean baby is. You mean so baby is. Oh, she's having her kitten news. What are you doing? Kneeling like it's a kitten. Huh? You're a kitten. What's going on? You ate too much last time. That's what it was. Alga's elk. Yeah, that's what it was. Defense, spiritual shielding, sanctity, protection. So, like, I'm still trying to figure this out. Give me a second. Because how do I even phrase that? How do I even phrase that? Oh, higher self. There it is, sanctuary. Yeah. They're mad that I give everything to my higher self. I give everything to God. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Or they're furious they can't have what my higher self is, or they can't have what God is. They can't be what God is. That's what it is, isn't it? They're mad they can't be what God is what it is. Elk. Excuse me. I don't really know much about the elk. Should I say? Wait, now that I look at that, it looks a little more familiar. What is it that I'm not understanding about this? I'm about to learn something brand new, y'all. still here. I'm researching elk stuff. Deeply social, forming herds, strong matriarchal leadership, seasonal migration, intricate dominance structures. Ooh, cited. Um, Deeply social, forming herds, and strong matriarchal leadership. That's new. I didn't know that there was a matriarchy. I didn't know that the elks had a matriarchy. That's new, right? Yeah. Most of the animals in the animal kingdom have like more patriarchal, right? The difference would be like, for example, like a jaguar or like, cats, except for the lion, right? Even then, it's like debatable, really. You know what I mean? But an elk being matriarchal is new for me. Defense, majesty, warder, protector, guardian. Ancient people saw this as pure strength without bloodlust, noble defense rather than domination. True. They don't fight for territory. They ward off, unlike, deer or, other animals with antlers. Yeah, like goats. Well, those are horns, but you know what I mean by that. Moose, elk, yeah, symbolize the axis mundi. Oh, that's what it is. Oh, that's what it is. Axis mundi. Yeah, because I am the pillar of heaven and earth. The bridge between earth and heaven and earth would be axis mundi. So they don't like, yeah, antlers mirrors the branches of the cosmic tree. That makes sense. Huh. No wonder it's about the crux. Well, this makes a lot of sense. They're like, they're mad that I don't know what it is they're mad about. I don't think they even understand what I do. That I see, that I know, that I'm wakeful. Yeah, that's what it is. Because I'm a red galactic Skywalker. I represent, like, I express reality through my wakefulness. So it's kind of my expression of reality. But I don't know. There's something here about, yeah, coaching, eternal love, relaxation in reverse, tranquility, peace, essence. What's this about? They can't relax. That's not my fault. It's like, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like they're trying to monopolize something they don't understand in order to act as if that they can reach it. It's really weird. It's like making a bet on something that they won't have, right? So it's like not only are they losing what they already got, but they're going into debt. You see what I mean? But that's like, I don't know what that has to do with what I'm doing. You see what I mean? It's literally stuck to my hand. It won't leave. See, they're attempting to, like, what is it called again? Act like they abri. Oh, they're trying to act as the Axis Mundi is what it is. That's what it is. There's where the triumph is. They're trying to act as the Axis Mundi, the divine elk of the situation. I'm a pillar. The bridge is like ephemeral. It's beyond transcendent. It's in the realms of beyond transcendent. Just because they're an Aquarius energy doesn't mean that they're an Axis Mundi. This is like heavy entitlement vibes. You know what I mean? One can represent the nature of Axis Mundi, But you know what I mean? Yeah, sighted, by the way. They can't necessarily be the Axis Mundi. Can they? No, I don't think so. Yeah, confinement. See stress in reverse. Exactly. Its antlers mirror the branches of the cosmic tree. The whole aspect of that is that to show that the cosmic tree is real, or sorry, that the tree of life is real, that I am real, that God is real, right? And then the animals and the creatures on earth represent each kind of design aspect of his creation, right? The transcendent mirror that literally create, like, oh my gosh, the way you move the like is fine, it's okay with me, but basically it's like what you call it, the paradoxical reality that exists is represented on earth as it is in heaven, as above so below. But there's someone who's like, they're all about trying to make it seem like, okay, you might not like me, but that's literally me. That's literally me. Yeah, you can go, it's fine. They know people don't like that. They don't like it when they hear it, but it's none of my business, is it? They don't like it when they hear the truth, y'all. Yeah, they begin all sorts of internal conflicts because they think that that's not a profession. That's none of my business. Yeah, they're not ready for what's going to happen next. It's none of my business. So basically, because that's some bait switching ass energy right there. I don't fuck with that. Remember? Yeah, they not ready for what's going to happen to them next. You're trying to fuck with me. Period. Shouldn't fuck with me. You know? Anyways, I'm not a grudge holder. But keystone grazers, their feeding patterns shape an entire ecosystem, influencing tree growth, predators, and water system. Their antler shedding even fertilizes the soil with calcium and phosphorus, creating micronutrient hotspots. Yeah, they're committed. They're like, okay, they're trying to like obstruct their own ungiftedness, is what it is. Like they're trying to like, what is that called again? It's like a object. Yeah, they're trying to object. Yeah, they're trying to like, yeah, they're trying to protest disputes. Yeah, they're trying to dispute the fact. They're trying to act as an exception to divine law or something. Yeah, they think that's how it works for me, is what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, I put a boundaries upon that process, whatever, that dispute. Yeah, they're trying to act as if that they have power over disputation or disputability. That's what it is. They're trying to act as if that they got power over disputability or something. Yeah, and that's literally their fault. That's what they're in danger of. Yeah, they think that they can falsify a dispute. Yeah, they kept on trying to falsify a dispute. That's what it is. Exactly. Every time at people's interactions, at the collective's interaction, at every interaction. Yeah, at every interaction, at other people's interactions, there they are. And they're trying to no, I don't care about that. Yeah, they're trying to dispute, they're trying to falsely dispute by like projecting disputability. It's like crazy. They're the ones being, what do you call it, opposed. They're the ones being protested. They're the ones that are being challenged. They're the ones being like left behind, and they're trying to like use that against other people. You see what I mean? It's like they're trying to like, it's like someone it's like someone being rejected, and then they're turning around to reject everybody in that same energy because that they were rejected, because they're rejected. Now that means everybody also is rejected. Like that, like that's the kind of energy they're doing. Like that's what it is. It's like they're incapable of accepting the fact that, like that's the narcissistic type shit that I'm talking about. It's like when something happens to them alone, they want to act like they're not alone. But when that's how you know it's narcissistic. But when something doesn't happen for them at all, they act like everyone has it but them type shit. Like that's the energy. It's so irritating. It's like woe is me, everything like that kind of energy, right? It's like everything that ever could happen bad always happens to them bad all the time when it's not true at all. But then they also want people to suffer that same fate that they're trying to pretend is true for them. You see what I'm saying? That's basically what it is. So it's like that, yeah, that's the narcissistic ass BS that I was talking about. They're projecting like so much of their issues because that they're they're not an exception. They're not an exception to like something that they want to be an exception about. That's what it is. They want to be immune to something, but they can't be immune to it. Yeah, and they're very prideful about it. Yeah, they want to act like they're immune to some sort of, but that's not my fault, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's like for me to be had been immune to the same thing that they are trying to be immune to, I had to go through what I went through. They're trying to take what I went through as if it's for granted, and that as if that they can lie about going through the same thing in order to act as if that they also should be immune to the thing that I'm immune to, when in the reality of the situation is that, you know what I mean? It's pretty crazy. It's like yeah, it's like that's what I'm trying to say. It's like a, I don't want to use that. I don't want to use that as an example. So I'm gonna like rebuke that in the name of Jesus Christ, amen. Cited. But it's like someone that, ooh, like riding a bicycle. Right, let's use that. It's like I've rode a bicycle a lot in my life, right? I ride bicycles all the time, like type shit, right? So I grew up riding a bicycle as well, stuff like that, right? I had a bicycle. My grandfather bought me a bicycle one day. I got that. It was really exciting. My mom stole it and then threw it away. Um, what'd you call it? She, like I'm telling you, like she really like despised me. Like it was crazy. So basically, it's the same thing where it's like, let's say they didn't know how to ride a bicycle, but I've ridden a bicycle my whole life. So whenever the bicycle like it gets on a really difficult, I love BMX bikes too. So that's another thing that I do, right? That she doesn't know anything about, right? So it's like I would be on like a BMX bike, right? And I could do like tricks and shit, right? So I get on a really like heavy terrain, like a really rough terrain. And because I'm on a rough terrain and I'm already like mastered the energy, I know exactly what to do. I know how to swerve. I know how to move. I know how to get through the situation. I can even go faster, right? They're trying to get on a professional BMX bike, never haven't ridden a bike ever. And you know how difficult it is to ride a bicycle or a bike, right? When you've never ridden it before. It's like your first time ever. It's some crazy ass shit, right? They want to ride a professional BMX bike with other professionals up a difficult route, up a mountain, like the most difficult route you could find, right? With the rest of the professionals. And then the moment that everybody's like, okay, let's go. And they start riding and they immediately fall on their face, flat on their ass, start cut themselves up, are about to fall out the mountain. They're like, no, that shouldn't happen. How dare you? They get mad at everyone. How could you let this happen? That's their energy. This is, I shit you not, that's their energy. Like, I can't make this up. But they're projecting the karma of that, essentially them getting on the bike, right? The BMX bike, and they're projecting it with such deep darkness that everyone starts falling off their bikes, but everybody is a professional. And it's not stopping them from also falling on they also fall on their bike, but now they're laughing. You see the difference? There it is. What was stood to be gained? Humor. Now you guys know. So they were trying to get humor out of this whole situation. They were trying to attain some sort of humor, but it's being given to God now. They can't be humored by it anymore. They can't be humored. That's that they don't have. No, they can't be humored. It's a no. They can't be humored. Yeah, that's what it is. They should have hesitated to come for my fortune. Is what it is. Yeah. They can't be humored. There's no compromise. Finally, holy shit, finally. They can't be humored by the situation. They can't falsify humoring either, like fake laughter or trying to make everybody feel lighter about the situation, right? Trying to make themselves feel lighter about the situation type shit with some dark ass motherfucking energy, right? Projecting darkness at everyone. And then like, you know what I mean? And you would be like, well, how would everybody fall off the bike? Like, you know, have you ever seen someone give you some sort of look, or you walk by some sort of stench and you're just like, you know what I mean? That's the type of energy. I'm telling you. That's dark energy. Like they'll do some shit to cause you some shit, and then you're thinking, what the fuck? Right? And then some shit starts occurring in the area, in the neighborhood, and all that jazz. And then they try to act like, yeah, they can't be a bully anymore. They can't pretend they're not an enemy anymore. Yeah, they can't do that shit anymore. Yeah, people, everybody's ready for them. That's it. Yeah, self-love is here with the luck energy. Yeah, it's being given to God, fortune, and healing and independence. Yeah. Sweet dreams, my reverse. Yeah. Oh, she passed. Profession upright. Yep, there it is. Moving forward. Yeah, real estate in reverse. So that's their energy. Wealth in reverse. Investment in reverse. Management in reverse. What is that? Sorry, not management. Mega project in reverse. Yeah. Yeah, it was like God was playing them, was what it was. God was playing them within some sort of situation that they thought that they were building an illusion around. But that was crazy. Yeah, good news is here. There's some sort of good news. Thank you, God. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Yeah, they can't rob. Yeah, they can't rob us from the confession of their guilt, their confession. They can't rob us of the confession about the injustice or the sight of the injustice. Yeah, the guilt of the injustice. They can't rob us of the confession of the injustice. That's what it is. Wow. I didn't realize that a confession was so motherfucking necessary. So there's going to be a confession. There's going to be a confession. Yeah. God is making it so that they will confess, or they will be seen confessing. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. About how they try to cause dubiousness around blessings, my blessings, or the collective's blessings. You will be getting a confession. We will be getting a confession about how and what they've been doing and how they've been doing it. So the confession is here. It's live and learn, no compromise. Yeah, now people are living and learning about how it's important to never compromise your fate, Never compromise your destiny, never compromise your soul, never compromise. Yeah, because when you think about think every time you think of a compromise, think of a leak inside a boat. What does a leak inside a boat do? That's what a compromise does. Okay? That's it. It should be a lesson by now. Yeah, exactly. Origin. It should be known by now. You don't compromise on things like that. Someone says, "Why don't you just put a hole in your boat?" Like, what the fuck kind of question is that? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. It's like that's the kind of reaction you're supposed to be having. Yeah, there's self-love here, and they're being dominated. That's it. Finally. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, exactly. Everything is being put into order. And that's it. They're going to have to learn to withdraw. That's what it is. They're going to have to learn to withdraw. They don't want to stop. They're going to have to withdraw. And that's what it is that they don't want to accept. They don't want to accept that they have to withdraw. And that's where it's coming from. That's where it's coming from. That's where it is, because they're projecting for the collective to withdraw. But it's manifesting differently, not the same as what they thought, that because like in their head something is it's different, something is happening differently. It's not happening how reality is happening, is working. Yeah, because they're trying to make it seem like the collective has to withdraw a curse, but the collective didn't curse anyone. Frankly, whatever curse it is that I could have put on anyone got transformed into a blessing anyways. So yeah. So if anything, I'm gonna say it now, for us all, versus me or the collective had ever even attempted to think of putting on anyone, right? May it be withdrawn. Amen. Yeah. So now it's like anything that God punishes these people with, now God like is fully noted that it is indeed their karma, their curse. Yeah, whatever non-calm that they are in. Yeah, never, that was never something we did. Exactly. It's never something we did as a collective. Yeah, collaboration. Yeah. Christ consciousness is never something we did. We never did anything to them. We never cursed them with some bullshit overload or whatever the fuck it is that they were complaining about. Yeah, whatever that they were disputing about their lives. It's not our problem. They were always in some sort of self-dispute. They were always in some sort of dispute. They were always in some sort of dispute. That's it. Okay, you guys. See you guys next time. Sayonara. Bye.